Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition, the final day, the penultimate day, the second last day here of the playoffs of the RSL Rival StarCraft League Season 4 2026 Playoffs Day number 6. We are here, we are back, we are live with the second last day of the playoffs. Here we go. We are back here, and we have a banger of a PVT ready for us here tonight. It's going to be a singular series, Maru versus MaxPax. I'm, of course, just VIP with him. I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in the chat, and, of course, by our lovely co-hosts, by the main casters, by Gemini, State, Sturgeon, and Tasteless. They're, of course, going to be covering the mainstream. Meanwhile, we are here co-streaming. For those that are curious, this is the official co-stream, or an official co-stream. Basically, we have permission to react stream, so you will be hearing the casters in the background, and we're here to just add a little bit extra on top, essentially here to quote-unquote to react stream, to co-stream even, if you will. So we are here, and again, there's only a single series tonight. It's a little bit unfortunate. It does mean that tomorrow is going to be 3 series back to back, but because of that, that is why tomorrow the broadcast is starting earlier. It's going to be an early broadcast tomorrow to compensate for how long tomorrow's broadcast is going to be. Otherwise, here tonight, only a singular best of 7. This is the upper bracket finals. Both Maru and MaxPax have made their way through the event all the way to the upper bracket, and I'll be honest, it's probably going to be a short series. I say that, if you've been watching Maru's PVT as of late, it has been hyper aggressive. I'm talking cheese, proxies, all-ins. Macro games are a rarer sight. Now, I will say that Maru, he usually does play macro, and he does play for the late game on certain maps. Think of Celestial Enclave, that comes to mind. Think of potentially even Winter Madness. Like some of these larger, more defensive maps than Maru, he will try to be greedy on instead. Be greedy, go for really drop heavy play, and build up into a 4 and 5 base economy. But it's typically only on those larger maps. All the other maps, he's an animal. And we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. We'll see if he can keep up with the tenacity, with the aggression of Maru. Let's go.
Go ahead and check us out on Patreon, of course. This has all been funded by you guys. We've always appreciated all you guys.
Let us go. Meanwhile, if you want to support the RSL, you can do so via the Patreon, !RSL in the chat. Got you. And you'll get a link to the Patreon page to help support this event. Likewise, you can also check them out over on their respective YouTube channel. Likewise, we are also live on YouTube as well, covering the event on multiple platforms. And yeah, I personally can't wait to sink my teeth into this, especially because it's quite a rarity here. Maru doesn't often play in online tournaments, so Maru versus MaxPax, it's a matchup that doesn't actually happen quite often at all. I'm curious how long it's been, if at all, since it's been since Maru and MaxPax have played against each other. I'm quite curious, actually. Hold on, let's find out together, Pat. Let's find out. I can't imagine they play often, but I'm gonna predict that they played once, like in 2023. let's find out. They must have played like at least once a year, sort of thing, right? Un momento.
Smash a
I'm looking it up.
in the comment section. Just whatever you want. Do absolutely
Okay. So,
going everywhere on
fun fact, I mentioned that I expected they played once in 2023. They didn't play at all in 2024. They played 0 times in 2024, which is no surprise to me. They played 0 times this year. This is the first time they're playing in 2026. They did play once in 2025. Last year, RSL Rival StarCraft League Season 3. So the last season of RSL, Maru 3-0'd MaxPax. So he 3-0'd him last season, and we'll see if MaxPax can fare a little bit better here the following season, the following year. Oh boy. Hey. So there's a slight recent history between the two of them, with Maru's 3-0. Hoping that it's not one-sided here. I'm hoping for a back and forth, especially because it's only one series tonight. So that makes me want like a back and forth ace match even more than normal. Give us some games, Pappy. Give us some StarCraft.
It's gonna give you so much MMR just looking at the aura of it.
It's an awesome poster, honestly. So
also, I do want to apologize. We didn't cover the Kung Fu Cup this morning. That was just because, fun fact, I was notified today that, hey, I wasn't notified. Like, I already knew that I was going to be judging TLMC. My apologies. I was already notified that I was going to be judging TLMC, but I was given the spreadsheets and the listing of maps all today, and I got a week. I got a week to get to work. So Oh boy, we're gonna have to adjust our schedule. But for now, let's jump into our upper bracket finals.
Very early. All
High
right.
octane
let's go.
start. Let's go.
MaxPax at the top right. Oh,
Yeah,
this is gonna
spawning
be
in the
fun.
right-hand corner, we have our Danish Protoss player. It is going to be MaxPax with Sidestone Gaming. In the bottom left, we do have the South Korean Terran for onside, Maru. And if you're in the chat, it's Gambit time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Best of luck, back. Best of luck.
Just bringing out the proxies. I mean, he's been loving this. He did it again.
And as I mentioned, I expect this to be a short series. I at least expect hyper aggression at Maru. It does open up proxy 2x in the natural, in the pocket.
This is honestly flipping the script from the last time these two played against each other in the RSL Season 3. I think it was the semifinals of the
Happy Easter. True. Happy
They
Easter.
started that series off also on Celestial Enclave, and it was a long, drawn-out macro game. I want to say like 25, 30 minutes, if memory serves. And now Maru, this time, you know, he might have played incredibly defensively the first time that they battled here on Celestial Enclave, but he's going for 2 barracks proxied in what is effectively the main base of MaxPax.
So MaxPax thankfully does probe scouts. He's able to confirm that Rax is missing, so he knows something is wrong, something is amiss. We'll see if he scouts his pocket expansion. It is not uncommon to proxy in the pocket.
But the single gas could be either of those two choices. Honestly, if he just goes straight proxy Marauder and just kind of sits there with a bunch of them, like it's a TVT or something, that would be crazy. It's going to be Marines!
Ooh.
And a bunker. What?
Bunker
Is he gonna
rush?
drop a factory and do some kind of push?
I mean, the factory would be at home, I'd assume?
Well, the
What
bunker
the
makes
heck
me
is
think
this?
that he wants to just hold this position, and I mean, you can't leapfrog bunkers into the main
Yeah.
base. So if
Yeah,
he
the
drops
bunker is an
down
oddity.
factory,
I agree
well,
with
the case is
States,
a little bit less
in the sense that a bunker feels kind of weird that we would want to establish something different,
What am
right?
I watching right now? Where's the gas going to be going?
I think it has to be a proxied factory.
It has
Oh,
to
he
be
scouts
factory.
it anyways with the Zealot. Okay, so he's coming on down. He sees that the bunker is going to be here. He sees the multiple Marines coming out, which is, again, the last thing I expected, considering he did. He is going to leapfrog the bunkers like
He's
it's a cannon
leapfrogging.
rush. Oh my god, this is an absurd.
Okay.
Probes being pulled.
I mean, he
of course,
can pull
to be able
back
to
to the
try and
bunker
kill him.
now.
Great micro
Yeah.
from Maru kills off the Zealot at the
Zealot
last
goes
tick of
down.
health. And now this
Stalker is
bunker-
about to pop out. The
it's
bunker
gonna
is
be a
not
little
finishing,
harder
though.
to continue to get up, of course, 'cause the
Yeah,
Stalker will finish.
This is why I was saying I don't think you can do it, because the Stalker should
Oh, the
finish
micro.
in time just to take down the SCV, right? He only came with 2 SCVs in total, so instead Maru going to trade out these Marines. Shield battery is finishing up, so unfortunately for him, he's only going to get a little bit of hull damage here on these Stalkers. And
Factory's on the way back at home.
DPS to eventually power through these shields and take down 1 or 2 probes, but he's just going to cancel the bunker and instead come down into the natural expansion. And there is a factory being built, but it's actually in the main base of Maru. It is not.
Yeah, I would have loved the factory proxied right here instead. Like,
right now, man. How many probes did he just
kinda
kill?
weird.
Killed a pretty decent
Killed
amount,
5,
I
right?
think.
5 probes?
I don't know if it's going to be worth the amount that this whole investment, you know, costs it. I mean, a bunch of Marines, those 2 SCVs, double barracks across. He's going to be much later in his tech and
Yeah, I'm
expansion.
not
5
convinced
probes.
by this setup here. I mean, again, Maru, he has to float all the way back home. His production is stifled. We should be seeing cyclones.
I don't think that's what Maru was really looking for with this build, no?
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. It's kind of funky going for the bunker leapfrog the way that he did, although I do love the touch of the barracks blocking 3 mineral patches right now.
There's like no probes there anyways, but it'll actually make a difference in a little bit once there's more probes actually mining.
MaxPax just had a great response though. That bunker now finally going to get salvaged here as it burns down, and these Marines just going to sacrifice themselves. Of course, that is a worker-only path in the natural expansion, so they cannot escape the same
Does at
fate
least scout the
these came
tech, does
in.
confirm the Twilight Council, but again, as they're mentioning, as we're mentioning as well, like this was a really weird proxy out of Maru, just because it was so uncommitted, right? Like it was so committed, but also uncommitted, in the sense that like again, the factory wasn't across the map, or he didn't go into proxy Marauder either, considering he still had all the gas to work with, and now he's floating back home. Sure, he killed a couple of workers, but I would say that MaxPax is in a decent position here. It's looking good.
To get ahead, considering the fact that his build didn't really do any crazy economic damage that would just win him the game.
Oh, this is
outright,
risky.
So we'll be going for something.
So instead of going early Cyclone, is going early Banshee. I mean, he did make 1 Cyclone, but only the 1.
Back base, and he's going to be going Cloak Banshee, which is
This might just
also
kill him.
very interesting. If that could be unscouted by MaxPax, that
Double
could actually
expanding.
get a pretty good amount of probe damage.
He's
done.
being
But
so
the
greedy.
the fact is that there's going to be a pretty decent amount of Stalkers coming up,
Yeah.
and there's really nothing to defend.
There's one
It's a single
Cyclone.
Cyclone, so this is going to be
Like, Maru was insanely greedy here, and he should be punished.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to mine from the natural expansion for quite a long time, and even the Banshee, you kind of need a wait
gets
for Cloak
scouted.
to be done to be able to shoo away
He
these
gets
Stalkers,
scouted.
because even with the Cyclone and with your
Not
barrier,
like
anything
this.
done. with just that one Banshee. He is going to send that cross map, try and get some damage done. SCVs are frantically repairing this one bunker, but with 4 Stalkers and some nice shuffling away from the vision of the Cyclone.
If the Banshee wasn't scouted, then maybe, but again, the Cloak was I mean, the research was revealed on the tech lab on the starport, so he knows there should be a Robo on the way with the observers. There should be.
I guess he does have the extra.
Show us the production tab. Yeah, there it is. Robo's done.
Losing that. But I mean, like, you're down to 29 SCVs at this point. The Banshee with Cloak was also scouted, so there should be some defense back at home. The Pylon Spotter is a little bit late to actually see it, but the battery is in time, and so he might lose a probe or 2, but the battery will come on up, and that will basically heal that. So it'll keep the probes alive until the Observer comes out, and MaxPax will be sitting very pretty. He already had that one battery in the main from earlier, so yeah, this is looking very good for MaxPax.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, only losing a couple of probes in total so far this game.
Oh, actually, nice target fire.
Yeah, I guess the Marines eventually did get that work done.
Here comes a counterattack. There's not really much at home to defend.
Natural expansion, so he will, in fact, see the Maru is going for a 3cc play.
Does break the lock on. Tanks are getting in position.
Maru's able to shoot this away, but oh man, 36 SCVs right now versus the 43 of MaxPax. Luckily, this third command center has been pumping SCVs for quite a while, so Maru is starting to close the gap. But this early game, not really going the way I think Maru was hoping it would.
Yeah. I don't feel like the game is going to end outright just now because, of course, it's going to be very difficult to actually just break this position as Maru, since it is a much easier natural, or whatever, the back base is much easier to defend than this forward natural. So he doesn't need to go there just yet, as he does still have those 3 CCs, but he still will eventually have to put these push these Stalkers away, and it's going to be very difficult if he's just kind of sitting here at the top of the ramp. I mean, it's going to be hard to get back down. He doesn't have an opportunity to really send the Banshees across the map just yet because, of course, you need them defensively, so he's going to have to wait just a little bit there. But, yeah, everything just feels a little bit late for Maru overall.
Oh, especially. No well, this might be a really good catch here for MaxPax.
Oh, no way.
He has one Stalker there to spot it.
And then he's gonna
blink in. With the vision from Cloak, I think he should be able to get one of these elites.
So I do apologize, not really adding much here. I mean, there's not really much to add. I mean, it's an awful start for Maru. It's just awful. It's just been awful. One Banshee even gets sniped here. One Banshee does get away. So far, the Banshees did not pay for themselves. They have not been worth it. Banshees not been worth it. They've been hurting him more than helping. Likewise, Maru, his hyper greed was also punished as well. He didn't get away with his third. As I was mentioning, the game is still going to progress from here, but MaxPax does have a lead. Like, MaxPax is looking very comfortable, and right now the pressure's on Maru to hyper turtle up. And to be fair, Maru, he is one of the best at doing this, right? He is one of the best at turtling and being hyper defensive. That is what Maru is known for. So if anyone can turtle up and max out, it would be Maru. But the plan from here should just be to slow the game down. The other option is for Maru to go for an all-in, but I don't see him all-inning from this position too well.
So late before Maru can do anything whatsoever to MaxPax.
And MaxPax on his side of the map already powering up with a 4th expansion coming in. Robotics Bay nearing completion as well. Forge already upgrading, so he's keeping pace with Maru in terms of the upgrades. There really isn't any facet of the game where Maru has the advantage right now over MaxPax, especially as you said, when you reflect back on 3 Banshees, which I think in total got 3 probe kills on the other side of the map. There's not a lot going here for Maru, but fortunately for him, MaxPax, he's been investing a lot in the gateway units in terms of just exerting pressure here in the natural expansion. Nice snipe on the sentry. And so there isn't some big tech coming in for MaxPax. Like, he doesn't have Psionic Storm just yet. I think Colossus production only just now beginning here with Thermal Lance. So MaxPax's army isn't particularly refined. In fact, I actually give the edge to Maru because he's got a Raven, he's got a Siege Tanks. He is going to have a bit of an upgrade advantage right now with 1-1 finishing to just the +1 ground weapons of Maru. But map control firmly in MaxPax's control right now.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard for Maru to actually get across the map. So, like, sure, his army is pretty good at this current point as MaxPax is still transitioning, but how does he actually walk across the map easily without getting contested? The forward base even getting taken from MaxPax here. This Banshee found its way across, but again, there's batteries back at home, so there's nothing that you can actually attack with that Banshee, as it will just get healed up by the batteries. And, yeah, I mean, MaxPax is kind of bringing everything home, actually.
I mean, the Banshee does lead scouts, does scout the Bay, does scout the Colossus production, so now Maru knows that it's going to be Colossus heavy style, and Maru's pushing. And Maru's pretty all in here. I mean, I say pretty all in, like, in the sense that he's all in. I should just not second guess myself. Okay, we need confidence in our statements. Man. He's just all in. He pulls the boys. It's all or nothing. Either he kills or he dies trying. Let's go. This is it for Maru.
And we're just talking about how Maru has a little bit of an edge in terms of army. MaxPax is going to meet him here in front of what should be the 5th base. Not yet done. Armor shredding missile comes in from the Raven, so that's going to
Zealous, they just confirmed the all-in.
For now.
They catch reinforcements.
This is actually a pretty threatening push from Maru.
Oh, the tank shots.
Unsieged right there, and unfortunately MaxPax not have high ground vision, unable to punish that fact. And now this army is getting very close to MaxPax's side
MaxPax, sorry, Maru can move in.
Pretty decent engage. Anti-armor missile going down on a lot of those units, and not too much from Maru has actually died so far. We really need some more Colossi and more units coming out from MaxPax.
Yeah, the Colossus are going to be zoned away. Maru's pushing into the Naturals, getting himself the Robo. Can he get himself the Colossus?
Going to anchor the position between the Natural and the third base right now as the bio moves into the Natural. Maru trying to find an angle right now, but he's surrounded on both sides. MaxPax doing a very good job of splitting his forces, reinforcing only here in the Natural expansion. Maru would love to pick off that robotics facility, prevent any more Colossi from joining the field. And notice, because of how late the starport was, these medevacs very low on energy right now. The bio is still struggling to get healed up.
Yeah, it's actually massive because the amount of stims that Maru's having to do in this prolonged engagement is going to make his army just significantly weaker.
MaxPax coming in for the surround. Yeah, warped in behind the army. Collapses on the tank.
Blinks on in onto the tanks as well. That's going to be a GG. MaxPax with the patience to take that game #1.
Wow, well played there by MaxPax. I especially like using the 5th base as another warping point. I mean, he came in from literally every possible side. To just
GG, well played again. It was a very weird build out of Maru, going for the proxy Turax in the base, but not really committing as hard as he otherwise could have. So minimal damage. He was able to deal minimal damage. Really, more than anything, MaxPax came out ahead. After the early game, he was able to shut down the aggression, able to punish the greed, able to punish the Banshee play as well. And again, Maru, he was forced into the all-in. He has to do one of two things, either all-in or hyper turtle up. He chose to go for the all-in, but again, he was even then being stifled. He had no more reinforcements, and again, MaxPax even setting up that surround by warping at the 5th base and getting a full surround on the army. GG, well played. MaxPax takes the lead in the series. Fun fact, this is the first time that MaxPax has taken the map off of Maru in like 3 years. Let's go. Can he take a series? We're here to find out.
Didn't really work out. MaxPax just so far ahead, even though it looked a bit threatening for a moment, able to still clinch it out.
Yeah, Maru just not able to get enough done with that opener. The Marines, I think, in total got maybe 4 or 5 probes. Yeah. But he lost the 2 SCVs in the process of doing it. Obviously, all the production time on those 2 barracks. And then
all the Marines as well.
Yeah, the 3 Banshee follow-up as well, just getting a handful of probes. MaxPax was mostly uninterrupted, so MaxPax converting that early advantage into a convincing Game 1 win here in this best of 7. Map #2 has loaded in. MaxPax versus Maru continuing on now. Can Maru fight back and tie the series up 1-1?
It also shows just how impactful the early game is. Like, the reality is that from the early game, Maru was just playing from behind. It was just straight up. The early game is crucial here in StarCraft, and here we go. We're getting to game #2.
This one in PvT.
It's pretty small. Yeah, you can get across pretty quickly. It doesn't look like he's sending out an SCV just yet. So yeah, it looks like this one might be getting sent across. Perhaps we'll see. What he wants to do with it. Yes, there he does go.
Hello.
But yeah, it's a bit of a smaller map overall, but it is, I don't know, I kind of like this map. It's kind of a nice, just solid map overall. I feel like it's one of the better additions of the more recent map pool. That's just my personal opinion of this map.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost a stone's throw away, though. If you're able to get the engineering bay block here as Terran, the push out into what would be the triangle 3rd base here for MaxPax is just so close to the natural expansion of Maru. Yeah. It's just a couple of screens away.
Show us what you got, Maru.
I know when Mapu...
Here comes the Rex.
Scouting for it? It looks like he was kind of scouting for an eBay block coming in.
It's not even an eBay block, though. It's going to be a proxy barracks.
Oh my god, dude. Maru's bringing out all of the crazy stuff these last couple series. I mean,
so this could be proxy Marauder, and you bank up your Marauders, and you make Marines at home, and then you just pull the boys, or it could be Rex Reaper.
Proxy 1-1-1, which was crazy. So yeah, Maru really thinks that this is the answer to the matchup at this point in time, it seems like.
All right, Barracks is finishing up now. We are going to have a Marine first coming out of this one.
Show us a Marauder.
MaxPax does not want to test it, does not want to go into the main base ramp.
Show us a tech lab.
We're seeing only 1 supply depot. You're thinking as MaxPax, this is likely a fast expansion build. And similarly to before, we have no orbital here in the main base. So this is going to hide the timing here for MaxPax. He sees the command center getting thrown down in the natural expansion.
There's a tech lab.
Just at the right time. And so we're going to have a tech lab actually being built here by Maru. So likely to be concussive shell Marauders plus reactor Marines here in the main base too.
Yeah, this is some dirty stuff coming out from Maru. Very tricksy, of course, going for that, not making the orbit.
Obviously, the threat of this build is that we're going to be banking up units, and the revelation of that command center on the low ground makes it look like a standard build, which means MaxPax, he won't overmake any units. There's a low chance he gets any safety shield batteries. There's a higher chance that he's caught with his pants down. Cheeky build here by Maru. We'll see if it goes unscouted.
Like, it's like, yeah, there's an orbital in the main base. Of course there's going to be that. But won't be going for that. Goes for that fake forward command center, which will eventually then just be a natural anyway, so it's not even like he's going to cancel it or anything. MaxPax going for a proxied gateway as well, though, is very interesting. I'm not quite sure how this is going to interact.
This can be very messy.
Sending his units very aggressively across the map here, whereas Maru, he could easily hit a timing where a lot of these adepts are across the map, and then there's just marauders in MaxPax's natural.
Yeah, so MaxPax is going to try and get something done with the initial 2 adepts, and then follow it up with potentially more adept weapons on
Maru. He ignores it.
Maru's side of the map, but he does not know that MaxPax is actually, or Maru is actually moving out right now with 2 marauders already, and they're targeting.
He's getting us over the pylon.
One of the 3 gateways.
Bearing in mind, there's only 3 gates, and two of them are still on the way.
So MaxPax
getting
is
a 4th gateway.
boosting out a stalker to try and deal with this. Oh, and the adept gets caught. Of course, it will be able to shade away before it goes down, but it's going to take a ton of damage.
He's trying to YOLO onto the SCV and did actually get it along with the probes.
Not bad.
So was able to deny that at least, but this is
getting
still
into the main.
So much bio coming out of Maru so quickly. No shield battery at all to defend as well. So that means these probes are just going to get absolutely destroyed. A single Marauder not even getting killed off just yet. This is if he just wins right now, this is going to be like a perfect game essentially out of Maru. There's still a couple more warpins coming in from MaxPax though, so we'll be able to deny at least a couple of these units, but he's losing so much in the process.
Yeah, with a probe pull, MaxPax should be able to stabilize. Keep in mind, he still does have 2 gateways online.
So because they're getting caught out.
Gateway near Maru's side of the map, and
gets one. There's 2 left.
He's going to be using this as kind of a staging ground to push into the natural expansion.
This isn't good enough damage. He killed 10 probes. That's not good enough.
Half of Maru's military production is on MaxPax's side of the map, and we already see on the minimap a couple of units getting warped in. He wants to prevent Maru from getting any kind of defensive foothold here in the natural expansion. There is just a reactor there.
He's punishing the bunker.
If MaxPax
he's going to deny
down this bunker from getting up, he can do big counterattack damage.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I'm sure Maru was not expecting to see a couple of units already in his natural when he was just defending against or attacking a bunch of them on the other side. So now this is kind of a chaos situation for Maru, as even the bunker or the supply depot is down. So that means the adept is going to be able to get in. He can easily walk the stalkers up as well. SCV's forced to come off the line to be able to defend. I feel like we're seeing the exact same thing, but on the opposite side of the map now.
Oh,
as MaxPax is just killing everything. Maru
that's going to be game. That's too much.
This proxied gateway, and it's falling flat on his face.
The proxy gateway is huge here because, as they were mentioning, the bunker should have finished. It should have been full of Marines. We should have had a longer mid game here, but no, Maru gets caught with this man down. It's Maru's turn to be caught out.
Double the worker count right now.
He's caught out.
Maru, and there really isn't an answer for this. Maru's going to use the Marauders on the other side of the map wisely to try and create an economic problem here for MaxPax in the natural expansion and tax the multitasking here of MaxPax, but I think this damage is just a little bit too much.
Ooh,
yeah, this
kills
is
every
crazy.
Marine.
Just the amount of knowledge that
MaxPax
seems to have in this early game matchup. He's just navigating each of these situations so well to just come out on top, even though these builds are quite strange and frankly, this other one, especially this game, just not scouted. Just no information whatsoever that this was even happening, and he just is able to navigate it perfectly with a great defense, and then just knowing exactly what he can do with that gateway that he already set up. Just go right for the counterattack and just end it before Maru can stabilize.
I mean, that was beautifully done there by MaxPax. Maru just not able to get enough.
Yeah, it's not like there was any foresight out of MaxPax, but really good use of the kind of setup that he had already gone for here in the early game. Bearing in mind that he was going for 4 gateways. To be fair, one of them was depowered, but he did go to 4 gates back at home. One of them was proxy, so it was a hyper-aggressive build out of MaxPax, and because that proxy meant that he could defend and also punish as well across the map by counterattacking and denying any kind of reinforcements. If there wasn't a proxy gateway across the map, if that wasn't set up ahead of time, then the game would have gone on. Then Maru would have been able to claim his natural, get his bunker up and running, and make a game from it from there and get into the mid game. But thanks to, of course, those reinforcements, we saw Marines going down, Marauders getting caught, SCVs as well, and that did straight up end the game. GG all played. So I would agree with State and Gemini in the sense that really good just kind of flexibility or just use of the situation there from MaxPax to be able to adapt on the fly, recognizing like, oh, hold on, like you're being hyper aggressive here. Chances chances are you're not going to have anything across the map. Let's make use of this proxy gateway. Let's warp in across the map. Let's punish you for being overly aggressive and for failing to do enough damage. And with that, GG. With that, GG. With that, MaxPax, he's up 2-0, and we're getting ready for game number 3. We're going to be coming to a short break. Let's go. Let us go. What are the odds will be done in the next 15 minutes? I mean, there's, depending on the maps and depending on the order, there's a high chance. I mean, I already said this at the beginning of the broadcast. I expected this to be a short series. Again, if you've been watching Maru as of late, then this is kind of expected. But we'll see if Maru does shift gears. I would have assumed that if Maru had taken a 2-0 lead here, if these cheeses had worked, then they would continue. But now that they failed, and now that we have a bit of a break here, it means that there's a higher chance that Maru will adjust and try to take a more standard approach instead. But it also depends on some of the maps. But we'll see you soon. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. We have returned here with the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 4 Playoffs Day number 6. We are midway through the series, through Maru versus MaxPax, and we are jumping into game number 3. Currently, MaxPax is up 2-0. Very impressive woman so far here by MaxPax, at least on paper. Again, MaxPax hasn't taken a map off of Maru in 3 years. It's since 2023. So it's been a long time since MaxPax has taken a map off of Maru. Can he take a series? Let's go. We're here to find out. Just catching up with the chat. MaxPax 2 Maru is better than I expected from him. I would agree with that when it comes to the scoreline on paper, but remember what we say. Context matters. Context does matter. Based on the games that we've seen so far, it's basically been MaxPax with build order wins, to be honest. Like game 1 and game 2. I say build order wins. Game 1, like I just had like Maru's build made no sense. It was an odd build. That's what we said at the time. It was an odd one. It was an odd game 1 build from Maru. Game 2, MaxPax, he went 4 gates blink. He went for 4 gate opener, I should say. So he had excess units to work with, and he could also counterattack because of the proxy, so that just hard countered what Maru was going for. So far we just haven't really seen kind of what Maru's made of this series, and MaxPax has been playing solid. Just solid player to MaxPax, has been shutting Maru down, and we'll see if Maru does adjust coming into the rest of the series. Let's go.
We'll be seeing something a bit more normal out of Maru, is my prediction, of course, since those two proxies really did not work.
Thanks so much for context. I missed game 1. If you missed game 1, Maru, he went depot gas into proxy 2 racks across the map in the pocket base of MaxPax on Celestial Enclave, but he didn't do anything with the gas. Like the casters and I myself, we were assuming that he was going to proxy a factory, but he didn't. He just went proxy racks into bunker rush, but the bunker wasn't within range of anything, so he just got bullied. Like it was an odd build. It was an odd build in game 1. It was a weird one. You don't have to watch it. It's fine. But here we go. We're getting into our next game.
Right now, as MaxPax sees no SCV going down to the natural expansion to start a command center, so he's just going to double check exactly what is happening in Maru's main base.
For the first time this series, double gas open out of Maru, going for a faster factory.
Yes, going for the 2 gas factory, likely for some Reaper Hellion. Very standard opener off the 2 gas from the Terran players. It's something that we see pretty often from them. How aggressive you go with it is up to personal preference, but usually we just kind of see it's a couple Reapers and a couple Hellions, and then you kind of go into a
best
more
of 7
style after that with the starport.
Plenty of games, Pappy.
This time we're going for the reactor very quickly. Could actually be also the factory going onto the reactor for some Widow Mines. That's also something that does sometimes happen. You reactor a couple Widow Mines with this.
Could be reactored mine. It could be reactored Hellion. We could head into Marine, into early Tech Lab Cyclone, into Cyclone Drop. This can lead into Banshee play as well. Going double gas does give a lot of options to Maru, and Maru does go for the early mine. No reactor swap.
Fire up that Widow Mine now. Start a couple of Marines here in the main base, and I'm thinking that, you know, Maru's been playing very aggressive in TVP so far, and I know that he is just the best late game Terran player of all time in StarCraft 2's history, but I kind of feel like he's going to continue going on with that theme, even though he is going for a very standard opener right now with a Widow Mine drop and a fast expansion. I wonder if we're going to have a really quick siege tank push as a follow-up to this. We already see, I think, the Tech Lab coming in now in the factory.
Good.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, it could be a good follow-up indeed. The hallucinated Phoenix going to be coming on in to scout absolutely everything.
Scouts Tech Lab, big scout here from MaxPax.
He'll be able to have everything that he needs. Sees that Widow Mine as well. We'll just kind of bait that out. So it's not really going to do anything because, of course, it'll get its recharge back by the time it goes across the map. But it's good to just confirm that that is there. What was I going to say? It's kind of interesting as well because, like,
safe build at a MaxPax, 3-gate blink
out of Maru, and then the reaction from MaxPax is to go for that fast sentry. I think that's just an overall good play to be able to get the deep scout, because they can be going for so many different things as the Terran player in that scenario. So for MaxPax to get that early scout off is very critical, and so he's going to be pretty well prepared, I feel like, for this Widow Mine drop coming in.
Yeah, Maru is also quite aggressive with the Widow Mine drops in general. MaxPax this time with Hallucinated Phoenix, not able to spot where this Medevac's going to be coming in on, and I just fully expect Maru to completely send this. There is also only one Stalker here in the main base, so what am
I do want to give a shout out to Gemini. State didn't really touch on it, but Gemini, for him to bring up the fact that after MaxPax saw the tech lab, he went for the straight sentry, a follow-up sentry I should say, into a second hallucination just to ensure what the add-on swap was looking like. So he should be able to get eyes on the Banshee, and I believe he does.
Nice damage done. I think in total only 1 or 2 probes getting taken out, but you know, every second that a mineral line vacates, I think it's like 12 minerals or so that is being wasted. So you can see the income advantage really spiking there in the favor of Maru.
Yeah, that's really nice. Of course, Maru keeping the one Widow Mine alive as well is going to be really nice. Trying to drop it in a cheeky spot, but does get spotted, so needs to keep that away. Another Hallucinated Phoenix going to get sent out to try and scout that medevac and just kind of tag it continually just to know exactly where it's coming from. But the Banshee follow-up is going to be coming on in for
he didn't see it
as well. MaxPax has some Stalkers in the main base in preparation.
Because the Observer didn't focus on it, I just assumed that Hallucination followed and went across the map, but no, he didn't. No shot, no detection.
Now MaxPax is definitely going to be taking some economic.
Where did that second hallucination go? Was it denied?
On the transfer from the main base to the natural expansion, there is a shield.
If you remember, when the mine drop came in, a hallucination went across the map, and clearly we just saw it. He did not see the production.
In terms of mining. And this is a huge disruption again in Maru's favor. That Cloak Banshee will be able to escape before the detection is out. And Maru's got to be feeling much better about this early game. And actually, look at this. He's going in with 2 Banshees in the natural expansion.
Yeah,
I
he can
wasn't expecting
one-shot
this. I don't think MaxPax was either because he is woefully out of position.
This might just be game.
A ton more probes getting taken out. More lost mining time, and now the Widow Mine is going to try and catch him with a transfer
Let's
back.
go. Get the Widow Mine back in there. How much can this thing do? Let's see, is MaxPax actually paying attention? He will get the warp in on time. The pro pull almost was a little bit too late there, but nice reaction still from MaxPax, so doesn't lose a whole bunch of probes. So that keeps the medevac alive, though, as Maru, and this is a much better opener for Maru in terms of the early aggression.
How many probes in total have gone down so far? We just took out 5 more with the Widow Mines and the Banshees. And MaxPax is going to try and get a counterpunch in now with the Blink Stalkers, actually catching even the Banshees.
A 2-base all in here would work wonders. Maru, he is ahead. He's dealt critical damage. If Maru goes and he pulls the boys here, it would make sense to hit with Stim and +1. So we'll see if he expands or if he does pull the boys.
Coming up as well.
Hey, you're going to see the income advantage finally now stabilizing as the worker counts are even, but those 2 big spikes so substantial for Maru, and MaxPax is building even more Stalkers right now. He really wants to try and get some damage done. If Maru is not anticipating
I'm looking at his camera. Up!
He might be in a little danger because
he's looking at his natural.
Siege tank unprotected. These Stalkers
did he pull them? He did! He pulled the boys! 2-base all in! Let's go! The boys are being pulled.
Trying to get a medevac. Will he get it? Oh, just
yeah, there they are.
Able to perform a shield.
So 2-base all in here by Maru. The reason why he's doing this is because he's ahead.
Right forward with 1 siege tank.
This is insane. Maru, just with the ridiculous, just killer instinct in some of these games, will be sending it across with this SCV pull. I think there's only like a single medevac as well in this. It's like such a random assortment of units to be doing an SCV pull with, and a lot of them were already pretty stimmed as well earlier, but he's going to be going into it. MaxPax trying to leave this 3rd base position, trying to defend back at home.
Yeah, the 3rd was a waste.
Storm will be done in 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
He needs to stay alive to get that key upgrade, and then he's going to have a chance to defend.
Storm is done. This could be huge. 3 storms are available. The first one very good. This bio low on HP right now. Only 4 medevacs healing. Low on energy. Another storm going to come in. Zone away the Terran army. Widow Mines getting shots in on the Zealots, but not the big hits that Maru needs. Keep in mind, Maru's already lost 18 SCVs, and he's sending already into the natural expansion of MaxPax. He did not take the time to take out the 3rd base. So if MaxPax can push Maru back from this position, he is looking at a very good chance of securing a 3-0 lead here in this best of 7. Immortal comes out, barely able to survive the onslaught from those Marauders, but Maru, he's getting entrenched here. MaxPax, he's going for the Blink Suckers right now by the Triangle 3rd. Those are being dispatched right now by the Marauders. Maru holding on.
Yeah, he's going to be able to go for the contain now, of course, as those units on the top right were distracted, but the tank
the bunker's finishing up brutal.
Able to dissuade MaxPax's push for now.
MaxPax, he can't break out. He needs more Zealots. He does have 2 more storms.
MaxPax just thinking he needs to buy a little bit more time instead, just get a few more units out. Doesn't want to go for the bust just yet. And that's
I like this Stalker rotation. With this Stalker rotation, he should get a better angle in the tank, but oh no, never mind.
He's not really
Goes the
got
other
more
way.
units coming across right now. What you see is what you've got for Maru. So he's going to need to be able to kill this off. Templar going to be throwing
massive
down some storms
storm.
on
Oh my
top of the
God.
bio. They're actually great storms. Will be able to kill a lot of this bio. But I feel like for Maru, like if you don't send the rest of your reinforcements, this is going to get petered out pretty quickly.
It seems like Maru has chosen or made the decision that he cannot actually take out MaxPax.
I guess it's saying.
And frankly, he just doesn't have enough siege tanks to do it. And so you can see that he's pivoting towards trying to snipe the third base while also making the trade in front of MaxPax's natural as inefficient as possible.
As we're alluding to, so far this is not good enough damage. Like Maru, he has not done enough.
Armor.
He needs more.
Ghost Academy, so there is a transition in mind here for Maru, and I think he didn't want to get caught completely flat-footed at home should there be, say, a Warp Prism doing a counterattack, because MaxPax loves to get his counterattacks in situations like
Denies
these.
the third, killed it earlier,
so
okay.
He's just going to try and do as much damage as he can. Delay the third base here from MaxPax. He wasn't able to get the kill move that he wanted, but if he can keep MaxPax contained on 2 bases, eventually MaxPax is going to run out of steam.
Yeah, it's kind of rare that you see the Terran player pull SCVs and then just macro out of it. It's like, oh, that was just a pressure play. I'm just going to keep on going. Oh, massive storm onto that bio. We'll kill off one of those medevacs as well. Maru's got to be a little careful that he doesn't go a little too aggressive and just kind of suicide all of his units for free, as he does still have now a better economic situation. Since he did SCV back up a little bit, he's got a couple more on the economy there. He's getting even a third CC as well, so he's just going to straight up go into a macro game off of this play. The ghosts coming out as well are going to be really good, of course, and he's just trying to continue to shark around just a little bit, trying to kill off the third base as much as possible, but the storms should be able to keep Maru away.
Yeah, the storm can keep Maru away, but I like what he's doing. The activity that he has right now with his bio is great because he knows MaxPax is severely limited on gas, and MaxPax wants to spend his gas on Templar to stay alive with storms. That's really the main DPS of the Protoss army, but that means that MaxPax can't really replenish his stalker count. And when Blink isn't a threat, as MaxPax again is going to try and assert his dominance over his side of the map, Maru standing strong.
MaxPax overextending. He overextends.
The Archons, even the Templar are now being taken out.
God.
Maru with just this hodgepodge army of a handful of Marauders and Marines able to get so much damage done. Even the Ghost joining in, Warp Prism actually able to dodge that EMP. I love what we're seeing from Maru.
This is so aggressive back and forth by both of the players. It feels like they're not really supposed to be taking these engagements, but they're really trying to just get any little advantage that they can, knowing how strange this game has become. The Prism Micro on the Archons is continue to be great, even using them on the Templar to try and get a little bit more far forward, to get some feedbacks and everything on some of these units. But I feel like just MaxPax has got so little to defend, and these Archons are on such low shields that they're going to get killed off so quickly. Maru, once you just get a few more units out, I feel like should be feeling pretty good in this game. The third CC also going to get floated on down, and these counterattacking Zealots just going to get dealt with by an EMP. Maru is getting better and better the longer this goes.
So from here, as I mentioned, Maru, he's recovering from the failed all-in where he was able to kill the third base, able to cripple some of the economy and stifle it here, even keeping MaxPax back, sniping some high-tech units. I'll be honest, this is, I mean, I guess we'll talk a little bit, like have a meta conversation about the series itself and about the game itself. So far, Maru, he is taking his lead. MaxPax, he's struggling to recover here. He has had a couple of nice moments. He has some couple of nice control moves as well, like micro moves. For the most part, though, Maru, he will maintain himself. He gets his third up and running. He is ahead.
You look at the army that Maru had a minute or two ago when he was trying to get damage done, as the Warp Prism is going to do some more damage onto this Warp Prism. It seems like he shouldn't be there, because you would think if he loses the fight, he's going to lose the army, but there aren't any Blink Stalkers to actually chase anything down. There haven't been for 4 or 5 minutes now. So Maru's just been able to trade so cost efficiently, basically trading the energy on the medevacs and a couple of units as HP for all of these trades with Zealots, with Archons, with Templar, with Stalkers. You can see in the units lost tab, it's plus 4,000 resources in the advantage of Maru.
Yeah, this is looking really nice as he's setting up a nice big attack at this point. Finally able to recoup just a little bit after all that hectic aggression. Will be able to go for a very nice blow. He's got plenty of ghosts now in this attack. The couple of Zealots coming on to the third base here, trying to kill off some of these SCVs and distract, but Maru's not going to take that bait. Prism also could go into the main base, but this army from Maru is the big threat. And when your army is mostly Archons and Templar, the Ghosts EMPs are going to be so strong in this position, and even the main base getting evacuated to go to another base as well for Maru to continue to just macro up in this game. So now these Zealots don't really actually have anything to kill except for Marauders, so that's kind of funny. but will be able to do some counter damage. But I mean, MaxPax is like, he just can't get a base at this point. He just had to cancel that 4th base. Like, where is he going in this game?
I love the pivot from Maru to go so heavily into ghosts. We saw 5 ghosts there on the front line attacking MaxPax's 4th base. There's even more ghosts reinforcing right now. I think we might be going up to double-digit ghosts in just a minute. And it makes so much sense because Maru, again, he's been forcing MaxPax to spend all of his gas on these Templar archives, or the Templar and the Archons, to try and stay alive. And he also sniped the Robo when he went for that initial push into the natural expansion to MaxPax. So he knows he doesn't need to worry about Colossus for quite a long time. Finally, he's able to clean up this Warp Prism. And he's even getting a couple of Vikings just for safety.
I mean, it's one of those things where Maru, he was actually went for his academy on Ghost production before his 3rd CC. Like, he was taking him quite heavily on 2 bases after the damage was dealt, of course. And now he's maxed. Maru, he's about to max out. MaxPax, he cannot keep up. Not like this, not anymore. Storms are decent, but this is such a beefy army now, so Marauder heavy with Ghost as well.
Back on his side of the map and just try to cause any sort of chaos, because that's the only thing he can afford to send across the map. Everything else is in his army, and it's such a small army compared to what Maru has at this point. EMPs are going to start to blanket all of this army as well. The Storms trying to get close, but just get EMP'd before they're able to do anything. One Storm will be able to tag some of those units, but again, the 4th base getting canceled. Again, MaxPax being set back down to just 3 bases, 53 probes. Nice flank from the Templar on the left, but again, Maru's just got so much EMP energy that he can just continue to go and just go toe-to-toe with all of these Templar. He's even going to be able to chase them down.
11 ghosts in total right now for Maru. The first Colossus entering the map in just a minute, but no thermal lands underway. MaxPax, his economy's just throttled. There's very little mineral income because he's never been able to establish a 4th base. He's sitting at 53 probes right now, and Maru's going to take a little bit of damage from this storm to clean up those zealots and set his sights on pushing into the 3rd. And you thought Maru's army was big, knocking on the front door of MaxPax's 3rd? We have an equally sized army about to converge with this one, which just took out the 4th. Maru more than doubling the army supply right now of MaxPax. He's looking to take the first game in this series. He pushes in, and the Archons evaporate to the EMPs. GG, and Maru fights back.
Now that is a different look that we've had from Maru in this series. I mean, even just the way that he played that game out, despite the fact that it was a macro game after a failed all-in, you could see that Maru was really just, he wanted to be 100% sure that he was going to win that game before going for the final.
GG, well played. So Gemini kind of alluded to it here. This is a this to me was worrisome. So GG, Maru, he does put a point on the board, he does fight back. This is a good thing, of course. Now we have a back and forth series. My big concern about watching this game was the early game went as best, like the best that it could have. We were harping on it previously, if you recall, how MaxPax's 2nd hallucination failed to confirm the add-on swap, which is crazy. We didn't, the observer wasn't focusing on it, but I assumed that he rallied the hallucination to the natural first, and then rallied up into the main base from the natural, and he ran into like Marines and reinforcements, and so the hallucination went down before scanning the main. So like this was the ideal for Maru, right? He went unscouted, so he was able to get into the bases, he was able to cripple the economy with the Banshees, and from there snowball into a 2-base all-in to win the game. That's what should have happened, right? Like again, like the early game was the best that it could have been, and the all-in failed. That's what's scary to me. That's what's terrifying to me, is that sure, he ended up winning the game later, but like Maru had to fight hard for that. He had to fight very hard for that. Thankfully he was able to pivot away and kill the 3rd Nexus. But I can see a world where he even fails to do that. Like that was a concerning game to me, just because the aggression, despite the early game going so well for Maru, was still very difficult to achieve and really difficult to pull off. I feel like after this game, after experiencing this, I don't see Maru, I mean, it is map dependent, I don't think he's going to 2-base all-in again or be as aggressive. They were like, they kept mentioning, and we mentioned this as well, Maru, he does have the best late game TVP out there, and we have yet to see Maru try to kind of get to that kind of game state or embrace that kind of game state. We might start seeing that now after this game, because like again, like that was wild to me. But let's get into it.
MaxPax spawning in the top right, Maru down in the bottom left. Maru looking to fight back in this best-of-7 series. And really with a strong statement there in that last game. I was getting a little concerned for him after game 1 and game 2. He had some kind of
Again, they say strong statement to me, at least to me. Like again, like Maru, like that, I feel like that all in and game number 3 should have been a cleaner game there, based on the setup. But yeah, it was definitely a little bit more shaky. So I'm concerned, but but we'll see as we're getting to game number 4. This is a larger map, Throne of the Dunes. If you recall, this was in the previous CLMC for the last season. Did not make it into the map pool, into the ladder map pool, and it is a pretty defendable map. If you wanted to build up into like a 4 and 5A setup, I can see it working quite well here. But we'll see how our players will approach this, because once again, double gas opener out of Maru. If you remember, with the double gas opener, last game it was a Widowmine drop into Cloak Banshee, but it doesn't have to be. We could see Reactor Reaper Hellion, we could see Mine drop into Tank Push, we can see Mine drop into earlier Cyclones. Like there are a lot of possibilities here, a lot of variations for Maru, so we'll see how aggressive he's going to be. Typically double gas is to be more aggressive.
Were kind of his bread and butter overall in this matchup. It felt like he was constantly going for them, and it seemed like he understood the way that they work better than a lot of other players. He knows when to go for them, when to not go for them, when to, you know, eventually transition out of them like we saw in that last game. I always keep thinking back, though, to that one game that he played against Hero in the finals, like the last game of the bracket reset and everything, where he was just going back and forth with the SCVs, like he wanted to pull them, but then he's like, oh, no, I'm going to pretend that I'm not actually all-inning, and he brings them back, and then he goes for it later anyways. It's like, sometimes I feel like Maru does get a little bit in his own head with the SCV pulls, kind of gets lost in the sauce a little bit, but so far worked out pretty well in that last game. We'll see if he wants to go for that again.
Oh, I'm sure we're going to see at least one more.
Are we going proxy starports? Yeah. Okay. So we have a factory back at home into a proxy starport across the map. This should be for Reactor Hellion drop, I would imagine. Technically, this could be proxy Liberator.
It could be a starport. I wonder if we're going to have something like Hellions being shuttled into the main base. I haven't seen that in a very long time.
This should be Hellion drop.
Finishing up at home here for Maru.
We saw this like last week.
Yeah, there's that one Hellion in the factory already.
But as you mentioned, like this should either be a Hellion drop or it can be a Hellion harass at the natural and then Liberator harass into the main. Like it's one of the two.
Did cycle this one in, and it was extremely effective. It killed an insane amount of probes. He followed up with a Banshee follow-up from that proxied starport as well to get even more probe damage, and Hero just like left the game basically. It was an absolute slaughterhouse. So we'll see if Maru wants to go that committed as well. This time he's going for a bunch of Reapers out of the reactored barracks as well. That's a bit of a switch up, and that's going to be very interesting. Going for Reapers with the aggression, with the Hellions, and then using, of course, the medevac to just drop them into the main base at any point in time will be very interesting as well.
Yeah, I wonder how this is going to play out. And MaxPax, I'm not sure he has seen the full Reaper and Hellion count yet, but this should be something that's on his radar. This was a very popular TVP build for the longest of times, especially on the Korean ladder. You would face this maybe half of your matches if you were in GM. And the response to it largely was to try and wall in the natural expansion as Protoss to prevent the Reapers and the Hellions from getting on top
going for a Hellion Reaper because the reactor was staying on the racks. Okay.
Like this one to drop everything in. Oh, the probes they get
Does it
lined
sooner.
up.
How many probes?
MaxPax is able to fix that by sectioning off some of them to sacrifice.
6,
but already in
7.
total, 7 workers being taken out. Even more are going to go down. A little bit of shuttle micro.
He's going for a 2-base all-in follow-up, by the way.
Should he want to? He's going to get 12 workers in total.
12
I think
probes.
Medevac's going to survive somehow. An Adept got to the main base here for Maru, but
so behind this, again, it was the Hellion Reaper drop, not just Hellion drop into the main base. It's going to be cleaned up, but this is critical damage being dealt in the main. Maru, there's a very high chance he's going to turn this into a 2-base all-in. Very, very high chance. Back at home, he's going for tank production, he's going for a Viking as well. Usually that means the plan is to reinforce across map, and to potentially even pull the boys. Maru knows that he's ahead, so just like last game, Maru gets ahead economically, so all in to kill his opponent to end the game. That's kind of like the name of the game here for Maru.
You're killing so many of the Protoss, they're not expecting to have that type of economic damage.
So we're expecting him to pull the boys. I mean, you can see he's not making any SCVs. There's 0. Oh, no, I say that. There's 1 SCV in the production.
Something a little bit later. I feel like Maru, since he did lose all of the units, there is still a world, of course, where MaxPax sees this as
you can see no add-on. There's no add-on on the second racks.
Damage, of course, but killing everything still feels okay, and you're going to have Blink as well eventually. And like I said, Maru's still down on SCVs.
Yeah, he ended up getting into the main base and killing 2 SCVs.
It's intentional. He wasn't making workers for a while.
Here for Maru, and I think this is going to culminate in a push eventually because the starport is still on the map. We have a Liberator being made, a 3rd siege tank as well. MaxPax
nice punish.
A big chunk of damage from those siege tanks. And I think that's going to be Maru's cue to move out, but MaxPax is looking to pin him down. Oh, if he could snipe this,
the backstab.
Huge for MaxPax.
Gets a tank.
That's a great catch coming in right as Maru is leaving. So
honestly, this is a really important counterattack for Maru because, again, sorry, from MaxPax, Maru wants to push. He wants to go all in. He's stuck at home.
And we'll be able to just dropship micro.
This is buying time.
Stalkers just a little bit as well as a secondary blink. Might even try to go for the dive if he thinks it, but 2 tanks is a little bit too much to ask for. So we'll just back on out. We'll just continue to contain Maru on these 2 bases for as long as possible.
Oh, and MaxPax recognized the situation. He knows that Maru wants to push. He's also not seeing the starport here in the main base from Maru, which is just another signal
here come the boys.
Maru is going to commit. And so he's going to continue microing here in the main base. Siege Tank pops, takes out one of those stalkers, and he's got to do the best to kite. He also spots the SCVs, but MaxPax, he's already reacting. He already knows this is coming. 2 more gateways are being.
And again, even though the all-in is happening, like it's really smart of MaxPax to be across the map to catch more reinforcements.
Maru's army is still formidable, Gemini.
It's a very large army. The Liberators being a big nuisance
in
the main
recall.
base as well, stopping mining, forcing Warpins in the main base. Will eventually kill the Liberator. No, I'm just kidding. He's not actually going to get the Liberator. That's very annoying.
Oh, can he get himself the tanks? He gets one.
This tank as the Immortal is also at the front, gets its barrier popped though, so that means it's going to be very weak if the units do try to dive onto it. There's still one more blink available. Will go onto those tanks in the back end as well. The Marines still ripping through the Stalkers though, as that forward blink leaves them vulnerable for just a moment. The battery not forward enough, but it looks like for now Maru without any tanks, he's gonna have a. He's actually gonna just keep going into the Immortal.
Maru, he doesn't have enough. He lost all 3 tanks. He lost 1 back at home. He lost 2 here across the map.
This is getting very down to the wire.
Oh man, it is so close right now.
He gets a tank.
There's enough resources to warp it. A couple of
the tank has arrived.
The gas really limited right now. Infrastructure getting taken out here in the natural expansion. More stalkers coming in. Maru, if he wants to be successful in this push, because probes have not yet been pulled. Now they're getting pulled. You got a micro right now with the
guys on the tank.
Siege Tank gets focused fire down. Stalkers on top of everything. Look at the focus fire coming in from Maru. Instead of prioritizing drops on the medevac, the focus fire on each individual stalker getting a ton of damage done. But in the end, MaxPax is going to stabilize here in the natural expansion.
Oh, the juggling! He saves the stalkers.
Oh, look at the dropship micro.
He's
that
crazy.
That one-person micro was actually insane. Able to keep so many of those stalkers alive with such low hit points. And I mean, we were saying that Maru looked like he was going to kind of just blast on through for just a
minute. Now, remember how we said something right after the last game? How they were praising Maru, how oh he's back. He was such a good game. We were like, that was a really concerning game. That was at least my takeaway from game number 3 was that it was concerning at how hard Maru had to work for that game, despite the all-in, despite the early game going his way. And it's the same thing here, where the early game was really strong for Maru, so he decided to go for a 2-base all-in, but MaxPax did an amazing job counter-attacking, getting into the main base, catching out the first tank, delaying the push, delaying the all-in, and Maru's in trouble.
Transition here in game number 4, but MaxPax already blinking into the main base again. These add-ons are exposed. The tech labs are going to get focus fired once more. Siege tanks being shuffled in.
He's in trouble, man.
We'll be able to siege up, but
Prism.
Oh, these stalkers are getting so much damage done. The Prism, I think it has enough HP to survive one more Viking volley. Oh man, there's even a landed Viking with 4 kills.
Nice landed Viking harass.
Kills in the main base of MaxPax. They are holding no punches.
The Viking
right
popping
now.
off. Oh,
this goes in for the YOLO blink onto the tank in the natural as well. Loses a couple stalkers to it, but will be able to kill that off. If you can limit the tank count in this situation, it's going to be great for MaxPax, of course, to continue this aggression. If there's any more than 2 tanks, that's when it gets really difficult to keep this stalker pressure going, but he's trying to keep that as low as possible. Goes into the main base once again, gets a Zealot
he blinks in
to
cause a meat shield and goes onto the tank.
The final tank goes down. These are vanilla Marines. They're being focused down one after the other. Boys are being pulled, but with that MaxPax, he's done it. No shot. GG.
And MaxPax is going to take game number 4. That was a bloodbath on both sides. My goodness. Honestly, it comes back to MaxPax diving in on that siege tank in those final moments, the natural expansion, because if Maru has 2 siege tanks and he's able to anchor the defense there in the main and the natural, the worker counts were finally even. The Viking got the job done cross map in MaxPax's base. I think if Maru was able to get one more production cycle out, he's fine. He's stable. We can continue on in the game. But MaxPax just decapitating him with that move. I mean, Did we even have a third base go down there for MaxPax at the
No,
end? I'm not sure.
I
That
don't
was
think I don't think he did.
that was
would,
violent.
That was
I would
ridiculous.
disagree with where State is trying to fixate and focus on. Winding it all the way back, what did this come down to? This came down to the counterattack. So, winding it back here, Maru, he had an amazing start. He killed 12 probes. He killed 12 probes at the start of the game with a proxy starport into the drop into the main base. He was able to cripple the economy of MaxPax. MaxPax, he was behind. He was crippled. What did MaxPax do? He instantly counterattacked. He warped in a bunch of stalkers. He counterattacked across the map. And the casters, they did notice it as well, that this was very intentional because MaxPax knew that an all-in was coming. He knew that Maru wanted to all-in, so the fact that we saw the stalkers hit the main base, delay the all-in, pick off Marines, and more importantly, kill the reinforcing tank. He was able to snipe a tank from the production early on, so what was meant to be a 3-tank all-in was only a 2-tank all-in. That extra tank would have made the world of difference, right? You saw how close that defense was. Like, they were trying to fix it a little bit more about later in the game. So I would say earlier on, the dive, the counterattack there from MaxPax to kill that reinforcing tank before the army got across the map was huge. Then he recalled back home. Then he was able to, of course, have that close clutch back and forth. But the fact that he was able to pick off all those units ahead of time and delay the all-in, that was a huge factor to weaken the all-in to ensure that it did not do enough damage. And with that, the 2-base all-in failed for Maru. Did fail. GG, well played. Hi, yeah.
It's been like a year in total for RSL, maybe even a little bit less.
But
so we're trying to grow this thing. We're trying to keep up with the
I
big
was
boys.
saying after game 3 that I hope that Maru's discouraged from going for 2-base all-ins against MaxPax, and he still went for it here anyway. And now I hope that after game 3 and game 4, hope this discourages him, because both games, like, they did not work out. Even the game that he won, like, he had to recover from that. So we'll see. But here we go. For now, we're going to be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll have the rest of the series. We'll see you soon after the break. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the RSL, the Rival StarCraft League Season 4 Playoffs Day number 6. We are still almost at the end, the conclusion here of our series of the broadcast. Something that caught my attention, by the way, aside from the games themselves. I don't know if you noticed something. There's no Sturgeon, there's no Tasteless. Usually mid-series they rotate casters. They have not rotated at all. It looks like they're not in studio. I mean, my assumption here, there's no Tasteless, there's no Sturgeon. Today's just purely Gemini and State covering the best of 7. Bearing in mind that tonight there's only one series. Only one series here tonight. It is just purely the best of 7 between Maru and MaxPax. Tomorrow is going to be the remainder of the bracket. Bear that in mind. And I'm hoping for a back and forth here. We'll get into it as we are loading into Missing You today. Let's go.
Now it is a 3-1 lead in MaxPax's favor. He is spawning in the top left and sending a very early probe out on the map, Gemini.
Oh.
Very interesting. There was once a time when MaxPax, all we really knew of this little kid on the GM ladder was that he had a build, and it involved proxying a gateway on the map in a very strange time in the way that it did line up. And it basically was just called the MaxPax build. It was just the only thing that he did. It was the only thing he was known for, and, well, he was pretty good at it. And it looks like he's going to be bringing it right back out. A vintage MaxPax play coming in to try and send Maru down to the lower bracket.
All right, one proxy gateway gets started here for MaxPax. Are we going to have a second one, or will we go right into the core behind this? There are a couple different variants on this build. I know that Trigger's been a big fan of going for one gateway in the main base and proxying 2 more on the map lately. It seems like MaxPax, just the one proxy gateway will be enough. Now sending that probe into the main base to start harassing.
So honestly, this is going to work really well here for MaxPax. Winding it back, for the first time this series, Maru is going for an economic build. Maru is going for a Rax Expand single gas back at home, so he's going for a faster CC, and the goal of MaxPax should be to punish that faster command center. So when it comes to the builds here, things are lining up for MaxPax.
Yep, he's obviously going for his Nexus behind it as well, but with this, he's not going super all-in with his build. This is not how the MaxPax build works. So if you're looking at that and being a little confused, the whole idea is that you're trying to deny this CC on the low ground. So he sees that it is there. This is the best case scenario for MaxPax. He's going to be getting the Zealot out. I think he usually goes, I think he's going to go for a second one as well, since of course the Cybercore doesn't line up to have the Stalker out at the exact same time. So we'll be going for the double Zealot, then the Stalker, and it's very difficult as Maru, if you do not scout this, to keep this alive. Will the Reaper actually go down? It will scout this out, so that's a massive move for Maru to get this information.
Yeah, you need to throw down a bunker immediately, and you know what? He's not even going to do it. He's going to cancel the command center.
That's correct.
Yeah, let's just play this as safely as possible. Build the expansion here on the high ground. And now MaxPax is not going to get that much compensation here for this. And even Maru going for the factory first before throwing down the CC here on the high ground.
He sees.
Oh my god, he's doing dance moves. That was awesome.
Zealot was having a panic attack. He's like, wait, the build isn't working. It's not supposed to be this way.
That was insane. Oh, that's even more insane. Yo,
dog, look at that build.
Oh, I love this.
I
was so curious because he was going for the factory instead of the fast, immediate CC on the low ground or on the high ground. I felt
we're playing some StarCraft, okay?
The wrong play, misreading it, is expecting MaxPax to be more aggressive than he was being, but I mean, it all makes sense now. If he sent that SCV over to the top right, this is a great adaptation from Maru. I'm really curious how this plays out.
And this has the potential to be very confusing here for MaxPax. Now, MaxPax is just assuming there's probably a command center being produced that is out of his vision in the main base, but eventually he's going to get suspicious about the lack of a CC in Maru's natural. And as we saw in game number 4, and I mean, even if you go back to game 1 and game 2, Maru's been so aggressive this entire series. It's possible that MaxPax goes for a read and expects a big push coming in from Maru, but I say that, and Maru is now going for a third command center.
Hyper read out of Maru.
This one in his main base.
Jesus.
I absolutely love it. MaxPax did actually get the scout to see that it was a factory as well, so he does know that that's there. He also saw the CC. So Maru obviously wants MaxPax to see this because he wants MaxPax to think that this is just his natural, that he's taken a little bit later. He went for the factory. He's like, oh god, I needed to defend against the proxy gate. I needed to get some production up. And then he goes into the CC afterwards. He wants MaxPax to think that he's just gone for an overreaction. But instead, of course, he's hiding this extra base in the top right-hand side. So will this continue to be unscouted is the next question, of course. Does MaxPax sniff this out? Because this is a very strange map overall. We haven't seen this map in the pool. Of course, this is unique to RSL, so he might not even be thinking that that's a possibility.
It's 4-gate blink from MaxPax as well. Is that two additional gateways and a logo for a warp prism? He's
Is that
looking
just
to bust
is that
Maru.
just a
He has
builder to
no idea
win?
There is a command center in the top right. And
No
these are games
shot.
that I have lost back in the day when I was a pro player, having a hidden command center, thinking that you're containing the Terran player, and then it just turns out they have way more money than you could
So
possibly.
what they just touched on, I feel like they should be focusing on, is the 4-gate blink. So MaxPax is being hyper aggressive, and Maru is being hyper greedy, right? He went double CC. It means that his production is going to be that much more delayed. Thankfully, he's going from Cyclone into tank production, so his tanks should be able to hold on here. But this is very greedy out of Maru, and MaxPax may just be able to punish him.
It's totally even though Maru's down 10 workers and what looks like only one base of mining. So with those mules starting to kick in as well, once they do get dropped down, this is going to be even better for him. He's going to slowly try to take this natural.
Doesn't get the Cyclone.
Cyclone alive with just barely any
Wow.
HP. That was great micro. You want to keep every unit alive as Maru at this point because, of course, if you are playing against a 4-gate blink player, you saw just that last game how quickly it can easily devolve and how you need to keep all those units alive. So
MaxPax is taking. Never mind.
Got the double tank set up as well.
So MaxPax, he could be warping in Stalkers. He's not. He has 4 gateways, but he's expanding, getting a 3rd base, and getting charge.
That's not good. This feels like Maru is on 2 bases. It feels like there is no hidden expansion. The only thing that was potentially a little bit suspicious was the timing of the command center.
So MaxPax, he isn't being aggressive. He's dropping, yes, but he's
not
not committing anywhere near
I'm
as
not
hard.
sure MaxPax is going to find that until the end of this game, honestly.
Link into the main base, of course. We'll try to go for some of these SCVs. We'll just ignore that tech lab since he's only got 4 stalkers. It's not worth it to try to go for that. Wants to kill as many of the workers as possible.
Nice
we'll be able
damage.
to get a good amount, 5 in total with this initial blink up. But of course, the gold base on the top right-hand side, still unscouted. Forced to recall as well since the Cyclone got a lock on. So that's going to halt the aggression for now from MaxPax. So a great hold overall for Maru. 5 SCVs is not going to put a dent into his economy.
Yeah,
And I
true.
wonder where Maru is going to go from here. Are we going to have another SCV pull, or are we going to instead potentially take a 4th base and bring this to a long
I feel like
macro
Maru
game?
expands.
Because
He macros
MaxPax
from
on his
here.
side of the map, it looks like he is bracing for impact.
So when it comes to Maru's build, he's getting 2 more Vaxes. It looks like he's setting up for a longer game. Like, I don't think he's going to all in from here. Thankfully.
He thinks he's a base up. He isn't. And he's powering up with 4 additional gateways right now. So going to at least 8 gateways, adding in Colossus, getting charge, and notably only staying on 3 Vespene Geysers. That means it's less gas for upgrades. We don't even have a Forge on the map right now. It's less gas for a transition into something like Storm. It's mostly going to be Zealots here for MaxPax, and that does not trade well. He's going to try and prevent Maru from taking what he thinks is a 3rd base.
Yeah, and I think that scan coming up from Maru on that 4th base location and seeing nothing there is pretty critical for him because he might now see that and know that MaxPax is being very defensive overall with his setup and won't go for any crazy SCV pull. You don't want to just all-in someone that's already setting up for a nice defense in the first place. So I think Maru's next best play, of course, is to just ride this out and just try to keep this gold base income going for as long as possible to eventually catch MaxPax off guard by what is a much larger army of units later down the road.
Very
and a nice snipe on that Prism as well is going to alleviate a lot of that aggression as well.
Yeah, the army that MaxPax is building is going to
pushing.
be very unrefined. The first Forge is only just now finishing up. Maru already has a
Maru, he has a
completed
massive
infantry
army.
weapons
It's
upgrade,
huge.
so he's at least 1 upgrade ahead from
Again, he's got that
MaxPax.
gold.
And as we said, there's only 3 gases here for MaxPax. We're not going to have Storm. It's going to be mostly Zealots, Colossi, and a couple of gas spent on upgrades right now. So, okay, there's a moment where Maru's going to be pushing in. He's actually just shoving MaxPax back. I was expecting the bio to start stuttering back to the safety of the siege tank, but instead, Maru bullying MaxPax a little bit here in the center of the map.
It looks like the gold base honestly paid off already because this army from Maru is massive out of seemingly nowhere. His army is just so ridiculous. Massive tank shot onto the Colossi as well.
Yeah,
He's going to
tank
just try to
volleys are huge.
dive bomb them. But of course, nice
And
micro from
Maru's doing
MaxPax.
it.
We'll be able to
He's
keep some of those
fighting
alive,
back.
But the tanks in such an offensive position at this point, very difficult to actually
We have a
contest
series.
this location.
We
Needs
should.
a zealot
Oh, God.
reinforcement
The
from the
Unsiege.
right-hand side. We'll be able to get that. But the
brutal
focus fire on
Unsiege.
some of these tanks is excellent for Maru as well. MaxPax is just bleeding out right in front of our eyes.
Excellent micro by Maru, being able to deal with that Zealot run by and then focus fire the siege tanks on the armored units where they're going to do bonus damage, taking out the Colossi, taking out the Stalkers, and the army supply. Maru is just dwarfing MaxPax right now. MaxPax is going to see if he can try to intercept something with these Stalkers, but the reinforcements far too plentiful here for Maru. And Maru, we don't have a 4th command center coming in. Instead, it's a 2nd starport. He knows that he has MaxPax up against the ropes, and it's really just Colossus here for MaxPax. He's taking a 4th gas because he needs to find somewhere for his workers to go work. And so we're starting the transition in Templar Archives, but I think it's going to be too late, Gemini.
Yeah, this push is coming on in hot. It's going to be
it's too late, Maru. He's going to stim on in. He breaks the natural base, takes down the Colossus, and there's just nothing left here for MaxPax. That gold base was never scouted. It was never scouted, never seen, never punished. GG gets called, and Maru puts a point on the board.
Maru fighting back, and I guarantee you that MaxPax was scratching his head until the game was finally over, and you press F10 and rewind instead of quitting out. And he's going to see that gold base and he's like, oh, that's fully mined out. That explains a lot of things.
Oh, you dirty Terran player, man. Yeah, that is definitely not it's not the sight you want to see when you're the Protoss. You load that replay up and you're like, oh, God dang it, he really did me like that? Come on. Like, absolutely ridiculous. But fair play for Maru. That was an excellent response to what he scouted. Knowing that the map is pretty unique. You don't see this map in a lot of the pools at all. You don't actually play this very often. So likely something that MaxPax is just not going to consider. And he absolutely didn't. He just had no idea that that gold base was even going to be taken.
What's really impressive to me is that Maru did this completely off the cuff. He was expecting, he was trying to take
true.
one guy.
I would agree with what Gemini said, talking about how because this map is so rarely played that MaxPax never thought to check. He never thought to check there in that location. I'm sure it's even possible he didn't even know there was a gold. Period on this map as well, just because of how few games are played on Missing You today. So really smart move there by Maru, really good reaction. I feel like if he really wanted to, he could have gone into like a 4th base and built up into a maxed out army, but regardless, he was far enough ahead. He pushed out, he was up like 50 supply. It was insane, the army lead he had, thanks to the gold, of course, and with that he snowballed out of control. As I mentioned previously, if MaxPax had recognized how greedy Maru was being, I do think that he would not have taken a 3rd and we would have seen a heavier 4-gate blink aggression. But even though he went for a 4-gate, he did not warp in across the map. Remember, it was only 4 Stalker harassed, and it was killing SCVs, which was nice and all, but not good enough, not against the gold. Let's go.
Look at Maru just going right back to his old ways.
Oh, we're proxying again. God damn it.
I wonder what we're going to have here. Right now, the SCV is
not again.
Into the natural expansion. It's a very big natural expansion. We've seen proxy barracks in this spot over the course of this RSL, I want to say.
Yeah. It's a common spot, of course, because you can just walk right up that Reaper jump path over on the left-hand side there. We'll be able to get into the main base nice and easily, and it's very difficult for the Protoss to send anything down there to deny it, because you have to go all the way around the edge, whereas the Reaper can just go cut right up there and just get onto the
Now, thankfully, it's only one SCV. Only one SCV.
Send this, of course, so Maru will be
Double
unscouted for now, as the probe will just go across the map to see exactly what's going on. We'll, of course, see that there's
Does he go Rax into factory?
And then we'll be, MaxPax will be altering his reaction depending on what he thinks is most necessary.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been Maru versus Zaun. This build was last featured on 10,000 feet.
Yeah, he went 1-1-1.
In that game, if I'm recalling correctly, I know it was one of the Terran players in this.
It was Maru
I was
versus
assuming
Zaun.
it was Maru because he's been so aggressive.
Yep.
We didn't just have the proxy barracks, we also had a proxy factory.
And Star
Right,
it was into the main
it was
base.
the reversed spawn positions. That's right. Yes. A ridiculous build, and
He's doing it again.
Very nicely, and he's going to bring it right back out. Very nice call, Mr. State.
Oh, I love this. It's so much fun. I love map-specific builds like this one because 10,000 feet has that very unique architecture with the mineral wall separating the natural expansion from this base. And the main base also, it's quite large. It's elongated towards where Maru is building his infrastructure. There is so much space.
MaxPax looking for the proxy, does get the linear 3rd.
The main base here.
MaxPax, he should check this location. He should head here next.
MaxPax actually decides to
We'll see if he does.
react without scouting it, because there's sometimes as the
He's
Protoss
checking.
player,
He sees.
nice, the Zealot
He
will actually
knows.
get there. Will it? Okay, you see the Marine. You got to go down. Okay, we'll be able to get the scout. So I was going to say sometimes you have to kind of, without scouting it, you have to make a call.
Does
Do
he
you
force a
go for
cancel?
the greed and just assume that they're going for just
Does he deny
single
the tech
proxy, a
lab?
fake
It's
proxy or
close.
something like that, and then you try to minimize your losses and go to the macro game, or do you actually go for the
There's
defense?
the 1-1-1.
So, luckily, MaxPax doesn't need to make that decision. He
Adept
sees
as well.
everything,
I think the
and
tech
he
lab goes
might
down.
even just kill this tech lab. That's actually great. We'll be able to kill
No
this off very
shot.
quickly. So that's going to deny a lot of the production from Maru outside of the single Cyclone, which, again, I feel like it's not necessarily
Oh, can he
what he
delay the
wants.
die? He delays the
Wow,
stun,
that
but
is
as
an
well, he
insane double
cancels.
scout as well from
No
MaxPax. This is going
shot.
awful for Maru.
Oh, with a Stalker too, and the Cyclone's going to be built in a corner.
Oh
Maru is
my
completely
God.
Is this
cornered.
how
He
it
already
ends?
canceled the first 2 Marines that were going to finish out of this barracks. Because
Is this how it ends, Pappy?
By the Zealot and by the Adept
Ay. Now there's no
for
way into the
free.
main.
But okay, MaxPax, he is pulling back for now. If he's able to corner and take out this Cyclone, this is a nightmare situation for Maru, even worse than it already is. And look at this, there's a proxy
proxy
pylon
across the
and
map.
the actual expansion of Terran.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty good for MaxPax if that can get up, and then he's going to have a nice leverage point, of course, to be able to just go into the main base there. Looks like Maru will be able to mostly get away. MaxPax does still want to hunt them down, but the Cyclone, of course, with its incredible range, will make that very difficult. So just kind of ferrying the units away with that factory for vision
Maru's
as well.
transitioning CC
at home
on the high ground.
Should be able to kill this pylon before it's going to be any crazy threat, I believe.
I don't know. We have 2 Stalkers, I think, warping into the natural expansion of Maru right now. This is
done.
This is 3-gate. Warp gate just finished. Stalkers finished producing in the main base, and now
Maru, he's trying to go into Cloak Banshee, but the Stalker's already here.
He's about to get sandwiched, and all of his production is flying across the map right now. The only thing that he has that will have a chance here is going to be the Cloak Banshees, but Cloak
get out of here.
15% done. Oh, the Cyclone locks onto the probe, the hero probe. Maru's going to have to hold into the main base. The Marines are going to get cleaned up here in the natural expansion. And MaxPax, if he goes for one more warp in, could get big damage done. I don't know if we have enough
need mass repair on that Cyclone.
to get service area to clean up the repair on these depots, because MaxPax is just power on through. This is so many Stalkers.
Even if you go for the repair, you could just target down the SCVs
Banshee
anyway.
reveals.
That's just free
He
damage.
knows.
You don't actually even need to get through.
Robot instantly gets thrown down.
The SCVs to repair the depots, and then you're just getting free SCV damage every single volley. Nice micro overall from Maru to try and get some Stalkers, but yeah, look at this. He's just going to go onto the depot, tries to all in on it a little bit too heavily, but then just, again, goes onto the SCVs as well. And he's got a Nexus behind this. He's not even all-inning or anything. This is just a committed pressure because he knows that Maru invested so much in his proxy, and it was scouted from minute 1.
Maru's been controlling this really well. The depots are still alive. Adept gets locked on, actually shades forwards. The Cyclone will be able to clean that up. Banshee Cloak is nearly done, and once that finishes, Maru will finally be able to put a stop to this should he want to reveal the Cloak tech. And I think in this situation, you just do it. You just try to shoo these Stalkers away, but is he actually going to
The shuffling here is crazy. He rakes in.
You can see he's just like, oh crap, you're actually still going for this? I gotta just defend at this point. Yeah, goes for the Cloak just to make sure he doesn't die. You need to make sure you can stay alive as Maru, because this is your final game in this upper bracket. If you cannot find a way to make this defense, he's going to be going down to the lower bracket. MaxPax is putting himself in a great position to end this series.
Siege Tank is getting set up now in the main base. Blink about halfway done here for MaxPax. We don't have any more Stalker warp-ins yet in the natural expansion here for Maru, so it seems like the pressure is starting to subside a little bit with no reinforcements. But you look at the mini-map, you can see MaxPax already taking a third base. He has Stalkers in position to intercept the Banshees. A little bit of miss micro there, targeting the high HP Banshee. Will allow Maru to get 4 probes in total with a 2-shot. But it's not the damage that Maru needs. I mean, his entire build was basically appended by MaxPax scouting with a Zealot, stopping the Zealot production, and then following up with an Adept and a Stalker. If Maru wins this game, it will be one of the most impressive comebacks I think I've ever seen in a TVP. This is an atrocious position.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much more to add here, but it is just a really brutal position here for Maru, just because, I mean, it was the initial 1-base all-in, he got found, he got proxy, tank goes down as well, takes out the tank, the Cyclone, he wants the tank, one more volley, he gets it as well. Crazy damage.
The one Cloak Banshee is the only thing that will keep Maru in this game whatsoever, but I don't even think that's going to do anything.
It's coming.
As the CC is forced to lift up yet again, Observer will get picked off, but the Cloak is about to be gone anyway. So this is looking absolutely terrible for Maru. Like you said, it is an atrocious position.
Command Center going to try and go down again, but I think MaxPax is going to blink forward once more if he's feeling like it. There's only one Siege Tank here on the low ground, a handful of Marines guarding it with some SCVs there for repair. The Banshee, as you said, very low on energy, so even Cloak is not really in the cards. There's finally the blink forward when MaxPax has enough to one-shot. GG is called, and MaxPax is going to the grand final of RSL Season 4. That was a very convincing win. 4-2. Maru, it was a hard-fought series, but MaxPax just looks so good.
Yeah, I mean, outside of just getting tricked by a gold base and the... What was the other way that he even lost? It was just an SCV pull, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was just a big SCV pull that failed, but then he was able to macro out of it anyways. It's like, outside of that, it felt like MaxPax just was reading Maru so much better overall. I mean, the early defense to the proxies every single time. That's 3 proxies that Maru tried to do this series. Every single one of them failed. Every single proxy Maru tried to do against Zaun previously was an overwhelming success. MaxPax read up on that series and was coming prepared for this one.
Yeah, MaxPax just seemed to have the answer for every single early game shenanigan.
GG, well played. And with that, congratulations, MaxPax will advance into the grand finals. Touching on what they mentioned here, I would go one step further. I would say that Maru, our biggest criticism of Maru last year, if you recall, I would say that Maru, 2025 was maybe one of Maru's worst years out there, was his predictability. Maru, he was very predictable last year. And if you recall, we were getting really excited coming into the new patch because Maru finally started to branch out. He finally started to branch out and diversify his play, diversify his builds, mix in all-ins with hyper greed, with macro games as well, and we saw a lot more diversity ever since November of last year. November, December, January, coming into now. And that's been my my biggest excitement about Maru's recent form and recent return to form as well. But that was all thrown out the window here because Maru, he was very predictable. When it comes to some of the games where he took a lead, I'm reminded of game 1, I'm reminded of game 3, where Maru, he would deal a lot of damage early on. He would actually get ahead. He'd get ahead, MaxPax would fall behind, MaxPax would fail when it comes to the early game defense, and then Maru would have a choice. Every time he would have a choice, it's either macro, get ahead, get further ahead, build up back at home, take your lead, get a third CC and try to take a lead and extend that and make use of that in the mid game, or go for a 2-base all-in. And every time it was a 2-base all-in. And that's what I mean when I say that he was very predictable. Because of that, we saw that both games MaxPax was able to punish, was able to respond with hyper aggression to punish and to delay and to disrupt the attempted 2-base follow-up all-in that Maru would be going for. So Maru, he was hyper aggressive this series. Those are specifically in regards to the 2-base all-ins he went for the 1-base all-ins and proxies. Also, again, MaxPax just had to scout and check. The one game where Maru was able to get a fast one on MaxPax was with the gold base. Of course, a very specific build on a very specific map. That doesn't really say anything about the players. That was like a quote-unquote like build win or a strategy win when it comes to hiding that ninja expansion. But for the most part, again, I would say that Maru was very predictable this series, and with that, MaxPax did shut him down. Maru didn't adjust. He was very, what's the best way of putting it? I was talking about how I was so excited about Maru being so much more diverse. Here he was very stiff in his play. He was very one note when it comes to his overall. He did have a lot of different builds, that is true, but it was all hyper aggression, right? At no point did we mix in fun fact, the one time that he mixed in greed, he won. The one time it was greedy, he won, by the way. We didn't see any standard early game or standard mid game. We didn't really see as much greed play either. We saw it once and he did win that game. But yeah, Maru, for the most part, he was a little bit too one note for me in this series. And because that MaxPax was a little bit easier to kind of match the tempo of Maru, as Maru didn't really adjust his tempo too much. Except for that one game, of course, I'm missing you today. And with that, GG. With that, GG, well played. With that, MaxPax, he does claim the series. Again, this is the first time that MaxPax has won any game and won a series in 3 years versus Maru. So let's go. It does win it. Does advance on to the grand finals. And with that, we'll be back tomorrow with the finals, with the rest of the tournament. Once again, only one series today. Only a single series, which is a bit of a shame. I'm not too fond of the scheduling, but only one series today. Tomorrow we're going to be back with the lower bracket semis, lower bracket finals, and then grand finals thereafter. 3 series tomorrow to wrap up this season of RSL. Cool. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up in the chat. Best defensive player in the world, go turbo aggressive every game. You MaxPax, Maru. As you're mentioning, Maru, he has shown that he can be very diverse in his play. He can be very diverse in his builds. And as I mentioned, the one game where he went for a greedier style and a greedier build, he was able to claim. But we didn't really see a lot of that mixed in, which was a little bit disappointing personally to me. I wanted to see some more macro out of Maru at times. I wanted to see him mix things up to make MaxPax second guess himself, to make it more difficult to determine whether or not he would be hyper aggressive, is to kind of keep your opponent on their toes. But here it felt like, for the most part, MaxPax, he was expecting aggression, and non-stop aggression. But GG, well played. Oh. As with that, so I'm just catching up with anything else. Anything further, Pappy? Anything further? Hope he goes for 1-base all in now. I mean, hey, 007, you're correct. He did go for a 1-base all in this game. It failed, but he went for it. Did go for it. Aye. Catching up with the chats. But otherwise, with that, we're going to be heading off. Going to be wrapping up here for the time being. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, we'll be back tomorrow. As you can see, it's going to be at 4 p.m. KST. 4 p.m. KST. That is going to be 3 hours earlier than normal. 3 hours earlier than normal. Bear that in mind. So that is going to be when our next event is going to be covered. Now, very quickly here, I also wanted to mention this when it comes to our schedule next week. So originally, our schedule is going to be jam-packed with StarCraft Evolution, with Pegasus Cup, with OSC, with more Pegasus Cup, with Amantis and StarCraft, with a bunch of replay coverage. We might have to adjust that. So I'm going to be judging TLMC again. It's going to be my second time being a judge for the Team Liquid Map Contest. Very exciting, of course, very exciting. But I was just given the spreadsheet with all the maps today. I was just given it today, and I have a week. I've got a week to go through all of it, and I wanted to make some streams about it as well. So I don't have a lot of time, and especially if I'm casting twice a day every single day, I don't have time to do everything. So most likely we're going to be adjusting our schedule. We're going to be moving some things around, freeing up our schedule a little bit more to be able to go through all the maps, to be able to judge properly, and to potentially make some streams regarding it as well. So yeah, I know Kura's gonna be very excited about that. It's about about us moving everything around. Yeah, we will have to adjust our schedule accordingly to make sure that we have the enough time to like dedicate to covering all the maps. I will say that this season there are less maps than last time. Like last time we almost had 100 maps to judge. This time I think we have like around, is it 60? There's like a little bit less than last time. Which will make it a little bit easier. It is a bit of a shame. I do know that people had less time. They had less of a heads up regarding the TLMC itself. Let's see. How many do we have? 30, 50. Yeah. We have like around like 65 maps. So we do have significantly less than last time. So it should be a little bit easier to go through all the maps. But it also means I have more time to like dedicate to each map as well, and to properly like judge and properly critique. So that is going to be the plan for the week. We'll be adjusting our schedule, adding some TLMC judging streams to our schedule. When is the Australian time change? Tonight. Yeah. Tonight. Clearly, it's time to stream the map judging. I mean, technically, I could do it right now, but nah, I gotta spend time with the bunnies. Gotta let them out. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time. When it comes to our next stream, as you can see here, our next stream should be tomorrow. On Sunday. I might do a TLMC judging stream tomorrow morning. We'll see. Like we got a lot of work to catch up on. We got to schedule ourselves. We got to figure things out. So yeah, with that'll be on us. Updated schedule. Soon TM. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Stick around. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft stream a raid. Trigger is streaming at the moment, so we'll give Trigger some love. Also, on top of that, if you want to support us, you can do so via socials. We do stream on Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Soup and Kick as well. We do stream all over the place. Likewise, you can also support us via Patreon as well. If you enjoy the content, if you want the VODs are available on YouTube on a daily basis. Plenty of VODs are available. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next time here tomorrow for the final day of RSL. See you tomorrow, papi. Ciao. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego.